You are live. And welcome to the Barrel Buddies. I'm James.
And I'm BJ. Welcome back to your weekly booze news and reviews. Whole lot of booze, not a lot of news, and all the reviews. That's what we do's. Do's. That's my song for you.
I will say this much. I've heard awful reviews on Sir Davis. Just throwing that out there.
Sir Davis continues.
Throwing that jab in there.
Ugh.
Somebody on Reddit said it tastes like chlorine. Like they got some chlorine notes, which I was
weird.
Like, okay. And happy to report on a news article that I did report on last week where we were complaining about the $169 price point for Elijah Craig Barrel Proof at Total Wine.
Nuts.
That has since was either a price mistake.
It had to be.
And it was adjusted down to $79.99.
Okay.
So
okay. Because that was bananas.
Yeah, no, that was insane. And I'm like, guys, if we're in the state we're in now, you can't continue to raise prices like that.
Yeah, that's bananas.
And expect there to be sustainability. So, there we go. We're done with Knob.
We've
closed the door on Knob.
We closed the door on the full Knob review. We're going to be doing
the knob and closed it.
Oh, I see what you did there.
The doorknob.
I see what you did there.
Reference.
One good turn deserves another. Which means that it will be back. We're going to do some fun things with Knob later this week.
Yes.
But we're going to continue our exploration of classy, good, amazing, new, fun bourbons for Bourbon Heritage Month. We're still in September.
We are.
And we're going to talk about one of our favorite bourbon whiskeys, a juke joint whiskey, a whiskey out of Memphis, Tennessee. Not a Tennessee whiskey. They do consider themselves a bourbon whiskey. And we're going to talk about Blue Note and their newest release, their Honey Rye Cask. You recently saw this come out, jumped all over. You want to tell us about that?
Yeah. So as Beej mentioned, they're from the heart of Memphis, good old Blue Note, straight bourbon whiskey, also known as BR Distilling Co. Since 2018, and their distillery was licensed in 2014, making it the oldest distillery license in the city of Memphis. So that's very, very cool. It says they what did they launch here? They have so much going on over there. Nothing but good things to say about these guys. But they have shipped more than 125 distilled spirits plants. What does that mean? Oh, they have shipped barrels to more than 125 distilled spirit plants. I get it. I was like, wait a minute, what? Including many Tennessee Whiskey Trail members. Oh, there's a Tennessee Whiskey Trail?
We're going to have to look about that.
Yeah. Anyways, we shout out to Blue Note. They're great guys. We've
done this on the show several times.
We brought out the uncut. I mean, that was one of our, one of the first bottles, that juke joint.
One of my faves, the Crossroads.
Yeah, and the uncut. That's what that one is. The uncut that we've had,
Delightful.
Which is some great stories with some of those single barrels. Mm-hmm. There was like a part of the warehouse collapsed in a storm.
Those orphan barrels, those 3-barrel blends.
Oh yeah. So like so many people talk about that. And what I love about this is that they're fairly young products. I think what we're going to have today is a 3-year.
No less than a 3-year. Yeah. The only age statement that they talk about in this particular offering is no less than 3-year. I want to read the back of the bottle, give you some stats really
Please
quick.
do. Well, what is it called? I don't even know that we said what we're drinking today.
This is Blue Note Honey Rye Cask.
Oh.
This is a cask strength straight rye whiskey finished in honey barrels, coming in at 117.2 proof or 58.58% alcohol by volume.
Okay. Now we're talking.
So she's a hot girl. Blue Note Honey Rye Cask begins its journey embracing the art of fusion. Yeah. American oak barrels used for finishing are repurposed to produce a delicious, locally sourced barrel-aged honey. We then return the bourbon to these honey-infused casks for one more round of aging to create a distinct and harmonious profile. Blue Note's bold and spicy notes, blended with the nuanced flavors of wildflower honey, guarantee that with each sip, you'll enjoy an intricate balance of strength and sweetness.
There you have it. And I think that a couple of things, right? First of all, I think there's a new resurgence of hobbyists. There's a lot of groups, Facebook groups out there and Discord groups that they're dedicated to secondary barrel aging on their own. So what they're doing is they're grabbing really high proof bourbon, whiskey, whatever, and putting it in like honey barrels and like mixing it with like, Fireball, cinnamon whiskey barrels. And they're all doing their own kind of secondary aging at home in small, like 1 to 5 gallon barrels. And then they're just like bottling it themselves. And
I want to be clear though, Good
giving
Times,
it away.
I'm not about you. Good Times.
Yeah, this isn't like a strawberry Neapolitan ice cream, cigar cut, 70 proof hazmat. They throw McDonald's French fries in there. Like they haven't jumped the shark like beer, but yeah, some of that Good Times stuff is just like a joke. I'm like, what is this?
But this is nice. I think it's cool. I mean, the idea is right, and we talked about this a little bit, and we'll talk about it with you. Is that we see these honey infused casks come back and be used a lot in just regular bourbon.
Yeah,
so to see
you
it
really
used
don't
in
see
a
it
rye,
yeah,
is uncommon.
it's very uncommon.
Do you want to note the mash bill on this rye? 95% rye, 5% malted barley.
So I expect this. So for those that don't know, so they are sourcing this. So they're getting this from Bardstown,
another classic bourbon producer,
which is also Green River,
River
Distilling. So for those out there that don't know that, that's where they're getting this from. And it's 3 years, 95% rye. I expect to get a lot of notes like Old Carter.
Pardon me. It was a little alcohol abuse. I did
it
splash it out of the glass a little bit. It's like that. It's like that classic bourbon tasting video. First, you swirl it around and throw it out.
So I'm going to read their press release really quickly.
Please give us the old press release for this bottle.
Blue Note Bourbon, the award-winning whiskey portfolio, is artfully crafted to honor the rich blues music that is synonymous with Memphis, has launched a limited release honey cask rye. The new expression begins its journey by embracing the art of fusion. I think you said this.
I did.
American oak barrels are used for finishing with repurposed to produce a delicious locally sourced barrel-aged honey. The team then returned the whiskey, which was aged for a minimum of 3 years, to the honey-infused casks for another round of aging to create a distinct and harmonious profile. Crafted in Memphis, the new expression features a classic mash bill of 95% rye, 5% malted barley, bottled at 117.2 proof, 58.5 or 6%. Their quoted was saying, limited releases like our honey cask rye allows for the team to flex its creative muscles and shine a spotlight on specific finishes, said Logan Welk, president and COO of BR Distilling Company. Blue Note's bold and spicy notes, blended with the nuanced flavors of wildflower honey, deliver an intricate balance of strength and sweetness. They give their notes that we're going to get are, do you want me to go say what their notes are going to be, or do we want to go for it ourselves?
I think you should say it. I mean, I've already seen it, so you can say it out loud.
The nose, you're going to get very light apricot, vanilla, allspice, and oak. On the taste, should be caramel, hints of apricot, oak, floral finish, and allspice. The finish should be soft and balanced, light texture with lingering hints of wildflower honey.
Okay.
It's available for purchase on BlueNoteBourbon.com. Sealbox actually is sold out. I was able to acquire this through Blue Note for $64.99.
Oh, it's a hell of a deal.
$65. It is a screaming deal, you guys. And cheers. We're going to get into this.
Let's get into this. I'll tell you, the nose is that's interesting.
Different.
It's not the rye that I was expecting.
I get that apricot. I get jammy. It's like a jammy.
It's potent. There's a lot of heat.
There's a lot of heat on that, but I am definitely getting like a vanilla and jamminess on the nose. Like
I get a lot of herbaceous, gardeny flavor. Not like
I get like, and there's some dill,
fresh cut herb.
There's dill,
like more floral. It's like it makes me think of being out in a fresh spring garden. There is some
spring
fruits, zestfully. You're not fully clean unless you're zestfully clean.
I'm diving in. Cheers, Uncle P.
Hey, Uncle P. I was gonna call you. I owe you a call. We got to chat soon.
Huh. You can definitely tell that this has been blended, not blended, but in a honey, with honey.
Oh, that's lovely. This is wow. This is what I want my next hot toddy to be made out of. When I'm sick, I want this.
Oh, this would be great for that.
Oh, wow. The honey
Yeah.
smooths it out so wonderfully. This is so warm and rich and smooth. Such a nice, it's full-bodied, really full-bodied, coats the mouth, big
Man.
creamy mouthfeel. Like a nice cough drop. It's not medicinal, but it has that like soothing.
I'm going to put the
cough
website
drop
in the
feel.
chat here for everyone so they can take a look, because you may be able to order it if you guys really want this. It is available on their website under products. And while you're at it, get an uncut.
Yeah, I couldn't recommend that more.
I cannot recommend that enough. So get an uncut and then get a rye. And I think if you get 2 bottles, they ship them for free. So get on this, guys.
That second sip.
And you can get an uncut. Guess how much they sell an uncut for on the Blue Note website?
$54?
$49.99.
Oh,
but
man.
It's sold out, actually. It's sold out at this time.
They got Crossroads. What else do they got available?
Oh, and the honey rye is sold out.
Ooh.
So right now you can only
gotta
get
stay
Juke
on it.
Joint, Crossroads, and the rye whiskey.
Well, we couldn't recommend the Crossroads more either. Crossroads is one of my favorite.
Jeez, that's another solid. Just keep an eye
Crossroads
on it.
is delightful.
Sign up for their email list. I highly recommend it. This is in no way. We're not sponsored by Blue Note.
We're not shilling for them.
We would love to be shills for Blue Note, but we're not.
Hey, Blue Note, we'd love to shill for you.
We can
sponsor
change that.
You can sponsor our next show.
Yeah.
Shows plural.
And I have I think the 9-year or the 10-year, one of the old bottles that they don't even have around anymore. I mean, we got a hold of this kind of like right after COVID, and we were like 3 years ago, and it was like
when you stocked up,
spectacular.
You made some trades. You stocked up.
I knew it because I was like, this is incredible juice.
It's good juice.
We got some of those uncut bottles. Like, holy.
All right,
moly.
I'm 3 sips in, and I gotta talk about this.
Go for it. What do you got?
This is really lovely. I think that this plays to the 3-sip rule really, really well. I think that first sip, you expect it to be really shocking to the palate because of the nose.
Yeah.
And it's not. I think it's really warm, rich, full-bodied, coats the palate. I think that second sip really starts playing to the rye spice. And I think that you start getting some of those more herbal rye flavors.
Yeah.
And then by the third sip, I'm starting to pull out a little bright mint note. It's not mint in your face though. It's like very pleasant mint.
I would agree.
I
like that.
And I think that the honey's really well balanced. For this being such a high rye mash bill, it drinks so easy.
It really does.
And this is so pleasant.
What is it? 58%?
58.58%.
This drinks nothing like that.
This will put you. This will put your D in the dirt.
This will put you in bed.
But this is so lovely. This is so nice, and that third sip really just—it's like wrapping up with flannel. You know what this reminds me of?
What's that?
Those old High West Midwinter's Night drams.
Oh, geez, some of those will just knock you out.
Right?
They sneak up on you.
That's what this reminds me of. This reminds me of some of those old
that.
accent scenes.
Bourbon Syndicate, welcome. This is first time here. Where are you? You're hanging out with the Barrel Buddies on a Wednesday night, our usual time. So welcome, Bourbon Syndicate.
Glad to see you. Welcome. Glad
Appreciate
to join
having you here. Hanging out with us, Chamokes.
Wow, I'm
I'm
going to tell you,
this is like, but it's kind of scary. To your point, it concerns me.
A little blown away.
Concerned about hobbits. I'm concerned with hobbits. I'm concerned with this.
You're a little
concerned.
No. I'm not concerned. I'm concerned that I could have another
concerning
one of
hobbits. That's how it goes. Like concerning Blue Note. This is a problem.
There's the show title for tonight.
Concerning
hobbits / Blue Note. Oh man, and I just took a big sip and just chewed on it a little bit. 58.58%. This does not feel like at all.
Like some more here.
It's the honey.
Whoa.
It's the honey.
The finish, herbaceous, that exhale, the rye, the dill, you get that rye coming through at the end there. But the honey sweetness just, I think, really tones this down. Ricola! That's very well said, actually.
Right? It's like a delicious Ricola bourbon. This is amazing.
It is in all the best ways.
Blue Note.
Safi,
This
what's
is
going
incredible.
on? Yeah.
All right, hey, dip your finger in there, rub it in your hands a little bit.
Yeah,
that was
really.
that's an interesting way to take the nose. That's a good trick.
Bourbon Syndicate is concerned about cats with thumbs. I am with you. As a
Opposable thumbs?
As a cat watcher, I don't have one now, but as a cat, we babysit cats over here that if they had thumbs, I'd be very concerned.
The honey, it's like whipped honey. You know when you buy bee spun honey?
It's exactly like whipped honey.
It's like whipped honey.
It's the vanilla. There's vanilla in there. That's what you're getting. So you're definitely getting a lot of vanilla. Oh man, that's really, really tasty.
I'm going to take this to a third-party live audience member. Just a moment.
We have off camera. We're going to let them try it. We're going to have a third-party independent reviewer just get the nose. Hopefully, this person was paying attention and understands what they're getting into. And here's the thing: this is not a cigar drinker. Like, I'm not going to go on the back porch, have a cigar, and drink this. But I'm getting a little smile over here from the third-party independent reviewer.
Gives this a big thumbs up.
Quick rating out of 10 over there. Like if you just had to throw a number out, anything?
Smiles all across the board.
Wow, 7.8 out of 10 from our third-party independent review.
That's a tough palate to please. Yeah. Wow.
Again,
I'm with you.
I know we're kind of Blue Note fanboys here.
A little bit. I don't always love the uncut. I kind of have to be in the mood. It's good. I'm never going to tell you it's not good. I'm going to tell you
dependent.
I have to be in the mood. And yes, to that point, it's very dependent on which barrels you get, right?
Yes.
Because each one is unique in treatment and where it was in the rick house and what it the expression. It's a personality. Each barrel's a personality.
Yeah.
So I'm not always sure that I like every single uncut or 3-barrel blend.
Yeah.
I do love Crossroads every time. I love it.
Crossroads.
I'm going to tell you right now, I love this. This is magical. This is going to definitely make my top. This is a contender in top whiskeys of the year.
Well, you mentioned it earlier because here's the thing: there's a ton of honey cask finished bourbons and whiskeys out there, but there's not a bunch of honey cask ryes. There's not a lot of these, so I think this is a niche that they're like, you know what? Let's take a rye and throw it into a honey cask and see what happens.
And I'll tell you the other finish, honey cask. Well, and that wasn't even a rye; that was a bourbon. I was going to bring up the honey cask finished Frey Ranch that we had, but that was a barrel pick.
Then that was
it was a bourbon. It wasn't even a rye, so it doesn't not comparable.
And and we've had some of the Nulus and the Starlights and the Good Times.
Well, definitely hate the Good Times.
Any of those are the bad times.
Those are the bad times. The Nulus aren't so bad.
I was a bit worried because I think of the old Carter Rye, that classic
Those are really good caramel bombs.
They're unique because they're dilly. No, I'm talking about the dilly herbaceous kind of dill pickle ones.
Still kind of caramel bombs.
Because where I'm like, do I want that with honey? Do I want honey dill pickle flavor? I was kind of expecting that with this and somehow working it out, but flavor-wise, but this goes together.
This is magic in a bottle.
As you were distributing the
taste
third rating over there, I mentioned this is not a cigar drinker. I would not put this on the back porch with a cigar.
Absolutely not.
As I would love to do. This is not what I'm doing with that.
As full-bodied and backboned as this is, I don't think that it would stand up to a good.
Well, and that's kind of contradictory though, because you say it's full body and it stands out on its own, but I don't want a cigar with it.
No,
it's just in a different way. It's almost like it's in a sweet. It's very sweet. Let's say that.
Very sweet.
The park. It's sweet. There's a vanilla, whipped honey.
Then there's caramel, and then these great deep
vanilla, caramel,
herbal notes that come with the rye spice.
That you kind of get on that exhale and the finish.
Yeah.
You really get that.
And when I say herbal, I really want to define, I think that if you don't define it, people might be misled to think more of verdant herbal, it's not floral, it's earthy. Think more like Underberg, think more like the herbal combinations of Jaeger. It's those those herb combinations in what we are typically used to in like an Amaro. That's the herbal flavor that I get. I don't get this chewing on leafy greens herbal. Does that make sense?
Yeah. An interesting comment from Bourbon Syndicate. I think is it
Okay.
a I don't know how to pronounce that. Cheroot, Cheroot cigar. Those are like those bitter. I've heard of this before. Like a Cheroot. Cheroot?
I don't know.
I know you're a cigar guy.
But I've not heard of this. Kentucky. How do you say it?
He's gonna have to put in the chat. Shroot. It's a Shroot. Sorry, Shroot cigar, which is like kind of like that bitter. Like I haven't smoked one myself. Kentucky Shroot from Shroot Farms.
Well, tell me about what is a Shroot?
Shroot Farms.
No, what's a real Kentucky Shroot?
It's like a bitter little. It's like a bitter cigarello. Is what I remember having it as many years ago. This is like back in like Ohio days. Because this was like something I experienced.
I got to be honest.
Midwest.
That sounds like it might go well with this.
Well, that's what
that's
what they are saying. That's what Bourbon Syndicate
is saying. This sounds like a good
probably go really well with that.
Yeah, I think that might actually be good with this.
Like I'm talking like a Punch or a Monte Cristo or some heavy duty.
Right, and that's what I was thinking.
Boy.
I was like,
normally what we're smoking out here on the West Coast. Yeah, like I don't know. Maybe it was like a creamy, like one of those acids or one of those like. I know, but I'm kind of a sucker for them. I know you're giving me the stink eye, but stink face.
Teach his own.
I like, they're fun, they're pleasant. I'm the guy. I'll smoke like what are those things called? The clove. I like cloves too. I actually think a clove cigarette would go with.
I was just gonna say.
That's another
honestly,
one. Clove would go.
A
with
clove
this perfectly,
cigarette
actually.
would go pretty well with this. Honestly, I wouldn't be mad about it.
I wouldn't be mad about that at all either.
Just saying.
Oh, okay.
This is. You want to get into some scores?
Yeah, that's so. As you guys know, let's talk about our scoring system. So, first of all, there's a lot of randos on YouTube that we're like, you know what? Let's watch whiskey reviews. We're not big into watching our competitors. We're not even going to say competitors. Into our peers.
I was just going to say, I'm not even going to call them peers. So some of them I don't think are on
some
the
of these
same
people
level.
have the stupidest rating systems on the planet, and I'm just like,
I'm not. Hold on.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
Some of them have rating programs that are even harder to follow than ours.
Right.
And I don't think ours is that
more
hard to follow.
Confusing and
right?
Convoluted.
We've got
they don't
3 areas,
3
and
categories,
a blown away
friends.
bonus.
Yeah.
That's all we got.
So as you know, here at the Barrel Buddies, we have a 3 category rating system.
That's it.
We rate it on nose, we rate it on taste, and we rate it on value.
It's that easy.
Those basically will get you up to a out of 10 or out of 100.
Well, you add a 9
to it,
right? Because we do 0 to 3 in
0 to 3
categories.
in each of those categories. They're like, this is already confusing. And then you have a 1 potential blown away bonus for a total score of 10 or 100. I always add
and then we
0.
round it up to give it to you 100 for those who don't understand the out of 10 rating system.
Yep.
Don't worry about it. If you have not been with us long, we've been doing this for almost over 3 years now. And there's been a lot of feedback that we've taken into account to get us there.
No, we have our scoring system.
So stick with
There's
us.
I'm
going to start us.
Yeah. No one will gaslight us about our scoring system. We've been using it for 3 years now, and it's a solid scoring system.
I actually think some people tried to steal our scoring system.
I'm sure they do.
In fact, that Jamoke we listened to about the thunderclap.
Oh, I don't even
say.
I was like, what are you reading?
What did you steal
lightning
from us?
Strikes or something? Anyways,
start
with nose. I think we're both in agreement here because I want you to give.
We're gonna be real close, I think.
But we both said that it had like a vanilla, like you were getting like a. I got a jammy vanilla.
See, I did not.
On the nose.
Okay, I did not.
See, I did.
So when I get into the nose, this nose to me is very harsh.
It's a little funk.
Yeah.
Harsh. What do you mean?
I think
harsh?
I think that there is a big ethanol. I think it's really, really sharp, and I think that there is no sweetness on this whatsoever. When I take the nose on this,
we're not going to come close to rating together. On
this
the nose,
is to me very aggressive, and it makes me really scared for what I'm about ready to sip. I would give the nose on this.
Are you sure? How many of these have you had?
Not enough. I'm happy to have another.
I think the honey makes it super mellow on the nose. Are you sure? Do you need to just take it easy and get a little?
I'm telling you, it's real.
All right.
For what I'm
Okay.
sniffing here, I'm sniffing something that makes me a little concernicus. Okay.
Concerning hobbits.
Concerning Blue Note.
Concerning Blue Note.
I'm gonna give the nose.
Thanks
for
news
my
about whiskey, and welcome to the show. He's asking
welcome to
whenever
the
he's drinking in the
show.
chat. We usually mention that at the beginning of the show, and usually Uncle P's drinking something.
Yeah.
And
tell us.
Safi, what are you guys drinking out there?
So I'm giving it a
know.
1.5 on the nose.
Oh!
Remembering that a 0 is gross, a 1 is okay, a 2 is good, and a 3 is perfect. So I'm giving it somewhere between okay and good at 1.5. It's just not my cup of tea. I'm sorry. I know it's fine. You get your own score. When I go to the flavor profile of this, it gets a 3. I think that this is amazing, magical. Ryes can be real hit and miss. This is a big hit. Out of the park, amazing, rich, full body, amazing creaminess, great mouthfeel. This just keeps you coming back for more.
There we go. That's what I
3,
like to hear.
okay?
Because you were really poo-pooing this right out the gate.
nose. The value, we're talking a $64.99.
I'm surprised because here's the thing, guys.
For this bottle.
We know we rant. I rant. You don't rant about this, but I
Yeah,
rant
you
about
rant about
raising
this.
prices and NDPs and all these companies going bananas with their pricing. For shout out to Blue Note for keeping this reasonably priced.
I think that's a reasonable price. Now,
I'll pay $64.99 all day long.
Here's the thing. I think when we first talked about this last week, and I saw the price on this, I went, I don't know. It's a rye finish.
Oh, Uncle P's not drinking tonight.
Finished rye.
Sorry, Uncle P. You get a pass.
I don't know about that, and it's $65. I don't know. I was having some heartburn about that price. I was. Even though I know I love Blue Note, I was having some heartburn about this.
Okay.
Now that I've had it, I would tell you, I think that's a huge value. I think it sits right in what the top offerings from Blue Note is. And again, I think some of the heartburn comes from it's a young, we're talking no less than 3 years in the age profile. I do think this is a really good value. I'm going to give it a 3. I am blown away.
Wow.
I'm going to give it the blown away bonus because I'm blown away at how good this is for a cask finished, a specialty finished rye. I think that's a magical thing. So that brings my total score to 3, 3, 1.5. That's 7.5 plus 1. It puts me at an 8.5 out of 10, or an 85 out of 100. And that's
solid
right
score.
where I would leave it.
All right.
I'm going to leave it right there. I'm very happy with that.
News about whiskey's drinking the Macallan Classic Cut 2023.
Look at these great new members we've got.
Here's the thing. I love that bottle. I've had that before. And if I'm not mistaken, that's the Macallan aged in ex-bourbon barrels. And I think that's why I'm such a fan of it. Because I'm a big bourbon.
I'm sorry, which Macallan is this?
The Classic Cut 2023. So I think that's like the red.
Yeah.
The red box, like the red stripes or something.
Cheers to you.
But yeah,
on
cheers.
That's lovely.
And then Bourbon Syndicate. Oh, one of our favorites on the show here. He's sipping on, they are sipping on Wild Turkey 101.
Oh, I love it.
So
nothing like a
give
turkey.
Us some 101 rare breed. And,
the most underrated bourbon out there, in my opinion.
Wait, the only one we're not big fans of is the 81. I had to look out on the shelf.
Yeah,
I'm like, was it 84 or the 81 we don't like? And we have it down on the bottom shelf.
It's fun. It's different, but it's not our favorite.
It's no 101. I'll tell you that much. Those numbers make a big difference in the taste.
We love the turkey family, but the 81's definitely the redhead stepchild. Tell us your scores. Walk us through your scores. Come on.
I see a little bit, like I did a little evaluation again while you were like rambling off your scores, rattling off.
Thank you.
I see where you're coming across on the nose.
Thank you.
Okay,
appreciate that.
I understand that. The only thing I don't agree with is the heat. I don't get a lot of the heat because I think the honey subdues a lot of that heat. For being something that's 58.5, I did expect it to be like super, super kind of hot, especially when you're like, oh, it's young, it's it's minimum 3 years old.
That's
maybe
absolutely.
They throw some other stuff in there, but maybe this is like it's not a great. This was like, because here's my thought. They have a rye product already. So maybe they're like, hey, we got some rye barrels that are a little too hot. They're not cutting the mustard.
Let's bring it back with a honey
treatment.
treatment.
In a honey cask to do a honey treatment to try to fix that.
100%.
because I think of like Smoke Wagon, right? And
Mhm.
like some NDPs that have like taken their stuff and put it into like that secondary finish it. Well, they don't secondary finish, but like put it into another barrel and age it for a little bit longer to try to like fix that.
Sure.
And it doesn't really help it. Tater Dom, what's up? Welcome to the show.
Hey, what up?
Good to see you. And so I think of that. So then I'm like, I'm already coming into this thinking that like, okay, they're using like a subpar rye.
So you're talking about your expectations too.
Yeah,
So
because
you
it's
had
like
some
preconceived
expectations.
notion,
There
and I
it
had
is.
expectations.
Okay.
We both did.
We both did. They came from different places, but we both had those preconceived notions.
But we both did.
Okay.
Because I'm like,
Just saying.
I'm like, you know what? Maybe this is just kind of their rye seconds, which, you know, let me get another sip here and get this party
It's
started.
too good. It's too good. I just keep coming back to it. It's just so good.
I'll take a little pour. And so that's good. Thank you. It's really heavy-handed, but that's all right. So that's what I was going into this. I'm like, you know what? It's probably not going to be their greatest rye. This is stuff that didn't pass the QA for their rye, and they put whatever. However, with all that being said, plus I saw the 58.5. I'm like, oof. I was thinking what you were thinking is like, it's going to be hot.
Thank you.
You get that on the nose. I don't get that on the nose.
Fair.
I think that there's a jammy, vanilla custardy, and then a kind of a strange herbaceous dill pickleness on the nose. And I know that's so contradictory when you're like, OMG, when I get all that on a nose, is that something I really want to
You're getting
put in
a
my
candied
mouth?
pickle, huh?
You're getting a candied pickle? You're getting it's something I would find at like a county fair. Like, hey guys,
Okay, Wisconsin.
we have a candied pickle here for you. We have pickled cotton candy today.
You're saying you got a white chocolate dipped dill pickle.
Gross. I loathe white chocolate, by the way. I don't know. That's like one of my bugaboos.
And so what number would you put on that?
So, and then Uncle P's like on a stick. Exactly. On a stick, obviously. They do fried butter, by the way, on a stick. Oh, that sounds disgusting. But anyways, it probably is really good. So with that being said, what did you give it, a 1.5?
I gave the nose a 1.5.
I'm going to give it a 2. I'm going to give it a 2
Not that
on the
far
nose. I think you're pretty close. Yeah, everything at the county fair, they'll put, deep fried whatever on a stick. It's pretty wild. Gets a 2.
Okay.
Going to the taste. Totally makes up for itself. Like, holy moly.
Do you think it's juxtaposed? That's my thing. I don't think that the nose meets the palate. I don't think that they complement each other. I think that they are two very
I agree with you 100%.
separate things.
I agree with you 100%. That's exactly what I was going to get to. I think that they're slightly contradictory.
Yeah.
And the reason being is that rye does have that kind of foundation of being a little dilly and herbaceous and funky to like a light funk, where it's not like some of the funky bottles we've had in the past, but it's there.
Okay.
And then you add this wildflower honey sweetness to it, and you're kind of like, I didn't really know this could go together, right? So you're like, okay. With that being said, I'm gonna give it I'm giving it a 2.5 on the taste.
Okay.
So right there, I'm already at 4.5.
Yes.
Okay, nose taste value. Value is an interesting one. Because it's young, and as you guys know on the show, we consider a value about a $10 per year price point.
That's fair.
I know that you can't really use that with bourbon much because a lot of the stuff we drink bourbon-wise is young. Like we say, $10 per year is
not
the
always.
We use it for scotch. It's a really good litmus test for scotch.
I think it's a good litmus test across the board, truly.
Yeah. I mean,
it falls in line.
$64.99. I get it. Honey's expensive. I totally get that. Like a barrel, a 5-gallon jug. We have friends that make mead. We have a ton of friends here in Vegas that make mead on a very large scale. And yeah, okay. So $64.99. I'm still gonna give it. I'm gonna give it a 2.5.
So you got a 4.5. So you're coming in at 7
I'm
out
coming
of 10.
in at 7 out of 10. I'm definitely 100%. And I don't normally do this, giving it a blown away bonus.
Very good.
It gets a full blown away bonus of 1 full point.
Coming in at 8 out of 10.
So I'm giving it an 8 out of 10.
Why are you blown away?
80 out of 10. I'm blown away just because of how much I enjoy it.
There you go.
And I was so pleasantly surprised, and I was super worried that these flavors aren't going to go together. Before we cracked open the bottle, I'm like, this is like going to be bad. This is like Blue Note's rye seconds, and they just added honey to it.
Nope.
I think of like, and then I think about all the garbage I've had from like Nulu and Starlight and Good Times, and
not Blue Note.
Not calling anybody out. Not Blue Note. Not Blue Note. This is their first go at something cask finished.
Delightful.
I'm going to be honest with you. I would like to see them do this with one of their other products. Like,
yeah, do a bourbon.
Do it uncut.
Yeah, do
an uncut honey cask. Blue Note.
Yeah.
Listen to us here. We do not
we know
need
you're
royalties. We know you're watching, obviously, because we're so popular.
Contact us at thebarrelbuddies@gmail.com.
We're saying,
we'd love to shill for you.
We're saying take an uncut, find like a really good uncut barrel, and then just throw it into a honey cask. And jump the shark like everybody else.
No, don't jump the shark.
Don't jump the shark, but do what everybody else has done.
This is uncommon for a rye, common for a bourbon.
Yes, but I think you guys are capable with how good your uncut is to put this into a honey cask, and it would be amazing. Because then those flavors would go together very well.
I think this was another solid pick for Bourbon Heritage Month. What do you think?
I love this. And here's the thing. I am all about on the show of A, trying new things. B, that's really it. It's just A, try new things is really the thing. There's no B.
Stick to the classics, try new things. And most importantly, life's too short to drink bad
whiskey. Life is too short to drink bad things like bad whiskey. Drinking with friends,
drink with your buddies.
Drinking with your buddies.
All you, our buddies.
You're all our barrel buddies, obviously.
Thanks for watching.
One.
We have to give you our.
We're not going anywhere. What are you doing? We're keeping this party going.
I have to give us the normal call to action because we have so many new joiners tonight. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, do the call to action.
Got to do the call to action.
Followers tonight.
If you are new to the Barrel Buddies, and some of you are just maybe new to the chat, we'd like to invite you to subscribe, ring the notification bell, give us a thumbs up, leave us a comment. It all helps the YouTube algorithm gods because you have found us some way, somehow. And if you've been a long time watcher, first time commenter, don't forget to share that link with a friend, somebody you think might actually like us as well. We'd really appreciate it.
A good way to share this is to your parents. If you have parents.
Oh.
Like my dad is big into, he's like, hey, yeah, send me that show. You just share it. Boom. Yeah. Here you go.
Drop a link, copy the link and send it in text. So thank you. We appreciate it.
And then he'll rewatch the show a couple days later. And I've done my due diligence of sharing the show.
Good job.
I have a bit of news here, which I think is kind of hilarious.
It's time for some more news. Lay it on us.
All right. There you go. Open the live up. Bourbon Syndicate will open the live up. Yeah, and he'll join when we open the live up. I want to do we should get a Discord going. And then we can do a live tasting where everybody can do the cameras on like a big old like shared thing.
I love that.
So what I'm going to do actually is I'm going to work on the Barrel Buddies Discord.
Get it done.
I'm going to get done this week.
We could have it up and running by the end of the week.
Yeah. So for our longtime listeners that are not super internet savvy, Discord is like a TeamSpeak or it's like Teams. It's an app. And there's even a web browser version of it where it's just like meeting rooms and live chat, and we can just like
it's a chat room
and memes.
For those of you who are older,
it's like an AOL chat room, ASL bruh. News About Whiskey says monthly tasting chats. I like that too. We should definitely.
That's a good call. News About Whiskey.
Thanks, like I would love here. Like I just love Discords in general because I'm a part of like probably like 20 or 30.
It's like a book club, but it's a whiskey tasting, monthly whiskey tasting.
I'm in because you guys know me in the internet nerdery over here. I'm in like a boatload of Facebook groups, secondary groups, Razzle groups.
Yes, you are. Careful who you admit this to.
Yeah, I don't want to admit this to, but because I got to keep my finger on the pulse here for the bourbon community. What's going on. And then a bunch of Discord.
That's the only reason that we do it, right?
Discord bourbon pricing groups, Discord bourbon tasting groups, Discord bourbon review groups, etc.
It's just so we need to do our own. Keep track of the ebbs and flow of the whiskey market.
So we know that we give a lot of grief to some major publications that kind of regurgitate bad reviews of bourbon and whiskey, and we make
So
fun of a
help me
lot
God.
of Gear Patrol and what's the other one? The other it starts with a Z, I think, that we give a lot of grief to. You get articles.
I give the tasting table a lot of grief.
Yeah, no, we get some articles from
Men's Health.
Yeah, Men's Health.
Give them a lot of grief.
Well, we're gonna add Rob report.
Hold on, we're adding
the
Rob report.
To the list.
What did they write this week?
So, as most of you know, a couple of weeks ago, if you follow Old Forester, as most of you, I'm sure, probably signed up on their mailing list.
Perhaps.
They had a national lottery for Old Forester birthday
bourbon. Yes.
Birthday bourbon, one of our favorites.
Many of us just got you did not win.
Notice. Shout out to one of our favorite bars at a certain casino where we've had half a bottle of birthday bourbon in the past. We won't name names.
Oh, thank you, Las Vegas, for having stuff like that. Continue.
Shout out to our good friend out there. You know who you are. Anyway, the Rob Report reported after birthday bourbon was released. And we're quoting them. Jonah Flicker. I hope that's a pseudonym, because if that's your real name, that's
what AI dubbed itself.
That's the AI self-identified name.
That's the AI nom de plume.
The Rob Report on September 8th, 2024 reports taste test. Do you see this? How ridiculous this article title is? Let me see if I can just share
taste test.
Let me share it.
It was a long title.
I'm going to share it and see. And Uncle Pete, tell us if you can see this, Uncle P, because sometimes we know we have problems with articles.
Doesn't live up to its unicorn status.
Rob Report says Old Forest 2024 birthday bourbon doesn't live up to its unicorn status. So you can see it. It's really good whiskey, but there's no need to hunt it down when core Old Forester bottles are easier to find.
I'm sorry.
Give
core
me
what?
A break.
Core Old Forester what?
A break.
Like Rob Old Forester? Like Old Forester 100 proof? What are they talking about? What core Old Forester? Old Forester 1920? I'm sorry. No.
Yeah.
I've had my tastes of Old Forester birthday bourbon, and not just once or twice, several times. I know what Old Forester birthday bourbon tastes like. I'm sorry. And for those of you that want to go, yeah, sure they do. Just a moment.
So in Jonah's opinion, I'm going to read an article from the Rob Report here. In this writer's opinion, the 2024 edition of Birthday Bourbon is a solid whiskey, maybe one of the better releases in recent years. Still, I'm not sure if it's worth putting the time, effort, and money into hunting down a bottle. And there are just so many other expressions from the very same distillery that are just as good. No, there is not.
Just for some credibility on what we're talking about.
Jonah Flicker is Rob Report's whiskey critic, and he writes a weekly review of the most newsworthy releases around.
You give it a score.
He's a freelance writer covering the spirits industry whose work has appeared in USA Today, Maxim, Liquor.com, and others. He's traveled the world over the years, visiting distilleries from Kentucky to Scotland to uncover the stories behind the spirits. Jonah, throw us an at, man. Like, watch the show.
Yeah, come at us.
Come at us, bruh, because I think you are absolutely wrong.
He could be. Oh, hold on. He could be right if this year's offering of birthday bourbon is
we haven't had
good,
it. In all fairness, we haven't
had it.
And this is like a 2018. This is a pretty old one that I got.
But I just pulled it out to say.
But we've had the 2023.
We know
down in Las Vegas on the Strip.
Birthday bourbon tastes like. We've had the 2023. We've had the 2021 and the 2020
and the 2020.
We've had some shares of birthday bourbon. We know what it tastes like. We know it's good.
Insanity.
Okay. So maybe it's bad. Maybe
he's 100% right.
But I do want to just call out core Old Forester. I just would really like to know what that is.
Is that like the 19? What do we get?
That's what I'm saying. Is it the 1920? Is it the 1887? Is it the 1910? Is it the Old Forester 100 proof? What is he defining as core?
Is he comparing it to like some maybe awesome single barrel pick that he got his local liquor shop?
Because that's interesting, and I'd be really curious. You can't just say stuff like, I think core Old Forester is better.
And he didn't compare it to anything specifically. Yeah.
Core.
Like maybe I'm thinking off the top of my head.
If there was a row, I mean, I don't know.
So if there was enough weight in a, you're looking at 52.5. The only thing that's coming close to this is one of the single barrels, and those are all coming in at like 60 plus.
And I've had plenty of single barrels that are not good.
Same. I've had some that are just like oaky trash. But there's unicorns out there. There are some good ones.
That's true.
There are some good ones out there.
What was it? The 2020 Total Wine barrel pick here in Las Vegas
was spectacular.
It was like carrot cake.
Yeah.
It was like spicy carrot cake. It was also hazmat. You could barely drink
it. 70. I think it was 70.
Very good.
So there are some good ones. There are some bad ones. But bruh, you gotta if you're coming at an article that strong against something, you gotta say exactly what you're talking about. Don't say the core offerings, because that's way too broad strokey. Like, oh yeah, we had the Wild Turkey Masters Keep, but you can go get something better in their core offerings, and then just end the article.
But
and be like, well, what does that mean? Because there's like a billion
Wild
options.
Turkey 81 is just so much better to drink.
Bring that up anyway. There you have it.
Sure.
That's all I got for bourbon news. That was just a really cool article.
Did you see that Master's Keep just came out? The new Master's Keep release, by the way.
Yeah, but that you're talking about like the Jamaican rum one, was it?
I think it was. Yeah. Are we gonna go hunt that down?
Potentially.
I think we should. We like rum. We're big fans.
Or which one? It was the Triumph, right? So the Triumph was a 10-year rye. But then I think it was 2023, which was the rum aged one. Yeah, because that was the Voyage. That's the one. Voyage. 2023.
I am about that.
Yeah, and that was the one that was.
Well, then the 2024 is about ready to come out.
Appleton. They used Appleton Estate X rum casks.
Delightful.
I love me some rum. Where's the rum gone?
All right. Well, I think that's it.
Yeah,
very successful.
Barely drink hazmat. I don't understand the words that are coming out of your mouth. I'm with you. Like, here's the thing: some of those Old Foresters, those single barrel expressions, are a tough bottle.
It's
tough
a challenging get through.
That's a fact, and we have way too many of them we're sitting on. I mentioned that before the show. So, anyway, there you have it, Barrel Buddies. That's our show tonight.
And Barrel Budettes.
And Budettes.
And Barrel Besties.
Barrel Buddies is kind of a non-secular, all
it is
kind of, everybody.
I just like to say it because every time I do, I usually get some fun feedback that's like Barrel Budettes ?
I could see that.
I do it as a troll more than anything.
So what do we got coming up? Do you want to do we have anything that's notable for leading us into like mid-September here?
We've got some fun shows coming up. And this Saturday,
friends.
We've got some coverage. I'm going to tell you right now, we are not going live this Saturday.
No, we're not.
We're not going live.
For those that don't know, we are going to probably the biggest and best beer festival in Las Vegas.
This side of the Rockies.
This side of the Rockies.
It's the Free the Whales.
Free the Whales, hosted by Beer Zombies, the one and only Beer Zombies. Shout out to Chris and Vinny and all those cool people at Beer Zombies. We will be at probably the best beer festival Las Vegas has ever seen.
Definitely the best beer festival
of all time
that Las Vegas has seen.
We've never seen anything like this. We're talking about Side Project. We're talking about Monkish. We're talking about Three Floyds. We're talking about I can't even. The list is endless. And at 450 North, we're talking. And I'm not doing it justice.
We're talking about RAR. We're talking about Kings. We're talking about Jester King. We're talking about some of the biggest, hypiest, most successful breweries.
Bourbon Syndicate. Just subbed. I'm apprehensive, but hopeful.
I was just going to say, you get enough of those in us, we might go live. But I'm going to try really hard to not go live. But knowing me, because I'm an enabler, I'm going to be like, hey guys, let's do a live video.
Yeah, we will.
It's going to be crazy, but we are going to cover it, and I will hash together a video of the Free the Whales. It's 50 of the best breweries bringing the best stuff. Russian River is coming.
Drecker, Angry Share, 8-Bit,
8-Bit,
Boiler, Branch of Blade, Brulahan, Fiddens, Drecker, Mortalis, Monkish, Other Half, Pontoon, Kings, Ology, Offsite, Residence, Hot Butcher, Great Notion, The Veil, Russian River, Weldworks, Three Floyds, Trippin' Animals, Solaris, Vitamin C, Tactical, Side Project, Seven Island, Widowmaker, Zool. Like you're having some of the best breweries in the United States here in Vegas.
Bringing
We
the
have
best
such
stuff.
we have such a what's the word? Baby beer community. Like beers is not really that big out here.
It was starting to get big.
Infantile.
It's very infantile.
What is it? Inspiring.
Conspiring.
Try to inspire to being a big beer city.
It doesn't matter.
And
we're
it's
gonna
surprising
have a
in
huge
in
fest.
Sin City that we don't have like a massive beer following.
Well, we're getting
We
there
really
because we have people like Chris and Vinny who are bringing it out
at
here.
Beer Zombies. You
And
guys
the
are great.
collaborations have been insane. And so we're going to see a really great offering this weekend.
Cannot
we were going to
wait.
cover it.
Can't
When you see
wait.
things like Endless Ending, Dark Lord, Pliny the Elder, some of these are just
best beers in the United
unicorn
States, in the
beers.
world. Like
And
guys,
we'll be
Untapped top
covering it.
50 we're going to be having this weekend. So
that'll be a
I'm
bonus.
sure we're going. I'm sure you'll be going live.
I'm sure I'll go live at some point. If I don't go live on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe to our
on
Instagram
at the Barrel Buds, because that's where he's going.
That's
what's
where
going
I'll
to happen?
probably go live.
He's going to be like, "Where's the Instagram
Barrel
Barrel
Buddies?"
Buddies?"
Make me a degenerate.
And then he's going to go live because it's the easiest on Instagram.
But I'll go all live on Instagram where I'm like, "Hey everybody, it's a party! What's up? Look at all these beers!" But I'm sure we'll post some beer videos this weekend, and then those will find their way into an actual episode.
Yeah, because at the Barrel Buddies, we're all about, we're not just bourbon and whiskey. We're everything barrel aged.
Everything
and they're
barrel-aged.
having a ton of barrel aged beers out there, and we're
It's gonna
super
be
into it.
insane.
So, and that's where our roots are. I think our roots are in beer.
Our roots are in beer.
Our roots are in beer, and we're looking forward to going back to it this weekend. And as usual, drink responsibly. We already
Always.
talked about congregating and getting a big Uber for all of us.
Oh
out
yeah,
there,
we'll be
so.
Ubering both ways.
Exactly, 100%.
If not, booking a room
Yeah.
at some point.
Yeah, or we'll have some roadies.
Possible.
I think we can crack open a Black Tuesday and just take it in the Uber. Anyway,
You better have one cold. Wash it all down with a Black Tuesday. I think that brings us to the ending of this video.
Wraps up the show. So anyway, friends, we got a good September coming up. I think next week we're gonna do a little Knob Creek meta. We're gonna do a
We're gonna do a side by side. Is it better than Knob 12?
Yeah, and I want to do a tier list. So we're gonna meta rate the Knob Creeks.
I like this.
And we're only doing the top two Knob Creeks, right?
Yeah,
that
we're going to do the 15 and the 12.
The 12 and the 15 Knob Creek, we're going to rate against some of our other favorite bourbons.
The 18 didn't make it. The 15 and the 12 were higher rated than the 18.
But we're going to rate those against some.
But I got an 18 that goes up against those two.
And then I'll see if I can get my Photoshop skills here. We're going to do some meta.
Oh,
I'm going to put a little chart together, a tier list.
Look at you.
S tier, and then we go down the list.
Look at you.
Yeah, looking forward to it. Anyway, for the Barrel Buddies, I'm Jimmy.
And I'm BJ. We'll see you next week.
See you next week, friends. Bam. Great show.